problems. I'll give it another few seconds. What a picturesque scene it is, Australia's Gold Coast, one of the premier vacation cities in Australia and the premier city for bowls. It is one of the meccas of this sport in this country, and so many things to do. 10 years on the Gold Coast the Australian Open has been, and this 10th year has been one of the most exciting in history. We've got plenty of action here, as you can see. The beautiful skyline, the picturesque water. What a city we have. And this venue, the picturesque Broadbeach Bowls Club. The finals of the 2025 Australian Open are about to get underway. Val Febo here with you on Green 1 at the Broadbeach Bowls Club for the Women's Fours final between Lindsay Clark, Anne Johns, Rebecca Van Ash and Kelsey Cottrell up against Olivia Cartwright, Rebecca Lord, Lara Butler and Chloe Stewart. Alongside me for the days, former right at home Jack Carew, the one, the only, the most majestic beard in bowls, Matt Lucas. Matty, how are you?
Good, Val. How are you? It's great to be here, and what more could you ask for? Sun on our back here, and perfect conditions. So, really looking forward to the Women's Fours final here.
It's going to be a fantastic clash. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two teams go about their business. It's been a really stacked draw. There's a lot of quality quartets in the team or in the final knockout rounds, and both of these teams have been able to negotiate their way through quite comfortably in some ways, and has been fairly difficult for the Chloe Stewart skipped combination there. We see Lara Butler and Rebecca Lord back for the Australian Open for the first time in 2 years. Lara, of course, a winner of at least one discipline in the last couple of years, so they've got form. But when you're looking at Kelsey, Lindsay, Beck and Anne, these were the inaugural Fours champions back in 2014, and they've won just a couple of titles between them.
Yeah, it's talent stacked everywhere, every position as well. I think the big thing will be, just how this green changes in the first couple of ends here. So obviously just coming out of the shadows and sun getting on it, it'll free up a little bit, and it's usually just a little bit of dew coming off the green in the morning, and might be a second or two slower. But I think all these girls have got enough experience to sort of combat that, and I think it'll be sort of whoever settles the quickest, be in the box seat. Yeah,
and I think you're right. The way that the greens sort of emerge from the shadows, of course, we've got some grandstands next to it now with some marquees, so it may make it a little different to how it normally does run. But this time of the morning is a great morning to be playing bowls, especially up here on the Gold Coast, which you now call home, Matt. And look, I think around that sort of 10 a.m, that's when we're going to start to see the green really quicken up, if we still are playing at that point. But it is going to be a cracking contest, and we'll get to some of the stats and numbers as we lead into the contest. But there is Lindsay Clark looking for title number 11 at the Australian Open. Kelsey the same across all disciplines, the now defunct triples that they both have won. It's quite astonishing what they've put together at this tournament.
Oh, I mean, geez, share it around a little bit, girls. I mean, some of us are still looking for our first. What can you say? I mean, they've both just been absolutely class acts for their clubs, for their states, for their nation for years and years now. And it's just it's a pleasure to come out here and be able to commentate and watch, what's going to be a really high quality game, I think.
Well, I can tell you how many titles that both quartets have combined. For Chloe, Lara, Olivia and Beck, it's not bad, 6. But for Lindsay and Beck and Kelsey, 33. Lindsay's won 10, Kelsey's won 10, Anne has won 8, and Beck has won 5. And plus Kelsey's got 2 Player of the Tournament awards. So it's quite impressive.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's a stacked rink. I mean, in their own right, all of them could probably still be playing for Australia or their own nation. It's unfair sometimes when you're playing in these tournaments and you come up against powerhouse teams like this, and they just don't make mistakes. That's the big thing, and yes, everyone's going to be able to play the side toucher or the landing bowl or whatever it is, but the consistency that these ladies do it's the reason why there's that magic number 33. It's time and time again, no matter what the situation or scenario is, they don't feel pressure or anything like that. They're just so confident and comfortable with their own processes that they know that if they go through that, then they're going to get, or give their bowl the best chance to have an impact.
We've spoken about the quartet that's won 33, the quartet that's won 6. Well, Lara Butler, the singles champion from 2024, player of the tournament last year. Her form on the Gold Coast over the last couple of years has been nothing short of scintillating. She won the fours with Chloe and Olivia in 2023, and Caitlin Inch was part of that fours winning team as well. Beck has subbed herself in, and we'll talk more about Beck Lord's story very shortly because it is quite inspirational to say the least. But she's in good form on the Gold Coast. She's got her little one Tyson, her husband Blake with her, but Olivia Cartwright, the way that she's going about her business, she absolutely stormed through the singles field and started her knockout rounds with a 21-1 win over the reigning world champion Taylor Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, I was at Helensvale watching those games, and she was just. I think she might have had a little tough one against one of the Malaysian women, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Emma Feryana Soroji, who's in the pairs final, so no slouch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she was 17-20 down and played an amazing end, grabbed a 3, and then put the icing on the cake, and that's some real that's some real sort of nerve to get yourself out of those sort of situations. So yeah, that's like I said,
good, no problem.
It's just going to be a really good quality final. It promises to be anyway.
Certainly does. And when you look at what Chloe Stewart has put together for the last year and a half, it's hard to believe that she retired from international duty this year, because it's probably the best that most people have seen her play. And you look at her CV from the last 12 months, the best rink in the Australian side series, won it for Queensland the first time since 2017, Australian champion of champions. So she goes to Barham in September to play the world event, finalist at the Australian indoors. She got into the Australian 5 to win the Trans-Tasman, retired on a high note from international bowls, and has just continued to dominate. I've seen her play. She's in the pairs final with Selena Goddard and played some unbelievable shots at Helensvale yesterday to get her and Selena in. And she's in the fours final as well, in the running for the player of the tournament. So it's quite staggering, the bowls that she's putting down.
So Chloe and I have a little giggle every now and then. I often say to her she's got the second best delivery in Australia.
Behind who?
Come on. We're going to just have a look at this delivery here, and I mean, it's just so smooth and fluent and repeatable. I mean, utter silk, really. So I think sometimes when you're in that spot and you're in the squad, and there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of expectation you put on yourself and things like that. And sometimes, when you actually just bite the bullet and say, "Oh, look, that's enough. I've had enough of the international stuff." Sometimes that weight off your shoulders can actually just really free up your game as well. Chloe might be experiencing a bit of that now, where she's just playing with not a lot of consequence or anything like that, but obviously still an exceptional student of the game and understands everything. So she's just playing with a real freedom, and it's translating.
Still dominating for Club Tweed. They're winning Division 1 titles, and she's got a great hub down there with Emma Boyd. Lindsay Clark, of course, her clubmate, and is a very good friend of Chloe's, but they're on different sides of the rink today. And as the jack gets picked up, the opening end, we won't chat to them this morning, but we'll get to the winners after this contest. Very much looking forward to seeing how this one plays out, because it is going to be a brilliant start. I think we're ready to go. Asking me for permission, which I don't mind. I feel like I've got a little bit of power here, Matty.
The Val's green light, go.
Yes, just start, do it. I should have told them to stop and hold, and wait till we were ready. But no, we are.
No, we're ready, mate.
Been ready all night for this contest. It's been the two best force teams. The run to the final. Well, Chloe, her squad has had a really difficult run because in the second round, so we've gone from the sectional rounds to a round of 64. So they won that 17-7. But then they've had to play skips in the form of Colleen Orr, Ziti Zalina Ahmad, Lisa Featherby and Dawn Heyman. And they've come through all of them. One of them against Colleen Orr, very close, 16-14. But then 18-9 against Lena, 15-11 against Lisa, and 14-7 against that of Dawn Heyman, which is a pretty decent run through.
Yeah, that's, it's just, I mean, generally when you're getting to those last 16, I talk about it like a poker tournament. You might get a few, a few volatile players, knock out some really good players early on in the piece, and that's sort of a little bit of luck value that you get in these tournaments. But generally, when you get to the final table of a poker event, they're all really good players, aren't they? So, it's no different in this tournament. When you're getting into those, the round of 16 and quarterfinals, you're not really getting, anybody who's playing those sort of volatile games. You're getting guys that really don't make a lot of mistakes and playing really well. So. It's not an easy road, that's for sure, that they've come through.
It's certainly not. And this is Rebecca Lord on the mat, and her first Australian Open since 2023. She's a two-time fours semi-final, so that was Lara Butler, I apologise, but Rebecca Lord was on the mat before, and it's her first AO since 2023. Two-time fours semi-finalists with Kate Argent-Bowden, Grace Maloney and Sophie Kurzman, so she'll be desperate to go a couple better and take this title. We'll talk more about her in the next end because it really is a brilliant story. And here is Lara. Not much can go wrong with this delivery either. She is a lefty, so I know they like to tell you they're a lefty.
They're all pretty smooth, aren't they? Really. Actually, I was out watching the under 18 girls yesterday. I do a little bit of coaching out there with Mia Haylock, and just watching all the deliveries, and it's nice to be made out of rubber band, but they're also so smooth and really great connection with their timing and sequencing, and I think it was encouraging to see just how well they were all getting the ball away yesterday. So I think the game's in good hands with techniques like that.
Here is Olivia Cartwright into the singles final for the first time in her career, enjoying a real purple patch. Turned 21 this week, and I don't think her performances at the AO will go down as a poor gift for her 21st birthday.
No, not at all. A bit of icing on the cake here, I think, if they can salute today. So Kelsey's team just finding a nice little position here early. A couple just behind the jack and a couple in waiting as well. Chloe Stewart still having the deepest bowl on the rink. Olivia down on the backhand again. We're just looking for a yard on her last. A nice little bowl to land on there, and she's coming very close to the jack. She's got it right in the middle and trailed it beautifully 2 feet to hold one. Chloe puts a mark on that one. Sounds like Kelsey was asking for a few feet of weight here from Beck as well, just arriving through the front bowls, and it looks like she's just a little bit tight there and got caught up on her own. Very Tasmanian looking bowl there from Beck, the green and yellow and maroon.
We know Tasmanians, if they are from Tassie, you will find out about it. They do. And look, I love the patriotism towards their state, and they absolutely relish. If it's like when, being from an Italian descent, when your nonna and nonno find out someone's Italian, they're immediately a good friend, or Croatian as well. They immediately find out someone's Croatian, they're your best friend. It's like that with Tasmanians as well. You find out someone's from Tassie, oh, where are you from? And then they talk for another half an hour.
All right, so we've got Chloe down on the forehand, just looking to probably get at least a third shot here. I think if she's getting a third shot, she's a chance to actually add, but great line, just a metre short. And again, that might just be players sort of settling into the rink and just finding, you know, that it's not quite sort of freed up just yet. The sun is basically on all of the rink now. Chloe down the backhand side, good weight, going to keep her bowl for a respot there on the tee. So obviously Jack out of bounds is respotted on the centre line tee, 2 metre mark. 15
ends is what we're playing to this morning. No time limit, so they can go as long as they want.
Chloe's around the pack there and drawing in nicely. This is a third shot, and yeah, pretty good position there as well.
Chloe's made the change to Drake's Pride Conquests. You can see it's been with Team Henselite for a very long time, so now making the move, and they're working wonders for her. Holding 1 at the moment, so let's see what Kelsey Cottrell decides to do with her final bowl of this opening end.
There you go. Becca and Ash, just some really good communication, and there's so much trust between these girls. Oh, what a great shot.
Kelsey Cottrell, it stays in bounds in the ditch, and they are holding 1 at the conclusion of it. What an absolutely brilliant start from Kelsey Cottrell. It was weighted shots that brought them undone yesterday in the women's pairs, Kelsey Cottrell and Lindsay Clark, but not their own. Kelly McCarran played 1 in the final end. They were 1 shot down. Kelsey and Linny holding 3. A little lucky rub sent it to an extra end. And then in the extra end, it wasn't a weighted shot, but it was another lucky rub for Kelly that sent them through. And Lindsay and Kelsey were far from thrilled to be eliminated in that fashion. So it was a little bit of justice for them to see them in the fours final, that's for sure. And here is Lindsay Clark, the ever bubbly Lindsay Clark. Her and I found out, her being a Bowls Australia staff member, we did a behavioural, it was one of those workplace behaviour things and how you operate. Yep. Lindsay and I are twins. So we call each other our twinnies. Separated at birth. We have the exact same behavioural patterns when it comes to work.
Was that the gallop stuff?
No, it was the disc.
Oh, okay.
Disc, yeah.
Right.
So if you ever want to talk to Lindsay, you can talk to me, or if you ever want to talk to me, you can talk to Lindsay. But here is Rebecca Lord, who had a kidney transplant 12 weeks ago.
It's an amazing story, isn't it? I mean, you know, and look, I must admit I don't know Rebecca terribly well, but every time you see her around tournaments and you know, any kind of event, you wouldn't know any different, would you? She's you know, a lovely nature and always got a smile on her face, and you sort of get the impression that, you know, obviously she's had some things to deal with, but you just think it just from the surface it just looks like she's just taking it in her stride, and you know, and just happy to be here, really, isn't it?
And she is, and you know, I met her properly at the Nationals last year when she was doing some work with the New South Wales junior team, and she's one of the most polite individuals I think I've ever met in my life. Always said please, always said thank you. Came in with a smile on her face into the back office when we were just sitting there preparing for the next call. But she had a transplant 12 weeks ago, was on dialysis for a year and a half after, you know, having a genetic kidney disease since birth. So she's been doing checkups. All of them have gone swimmingly, which is amazing news. She's been doing blood tests for the last 12 days in Tweed Head since she came up here, so she's still having to go through and do those checks, but everything is going well. And she did want to everyone to know that it takes 2 seconds to become an organ donor. And so head over to Donate Life and make sure that that you tick that box, because you can give someone a fresh start. And someone did give Rebecca Lord a fresh start, and look at what she's able to do. And she was part of an exchange program. So her dad donated one of his kidneys, and then that was able to allow Beck to grab one as well. So an amazing story. And Rebecca Lord, it's great to see you back on the bowling green. Lara Butler. She is unbelievable what she's been able to do the last few years. And have a look at that.
Yeah, landing that bowl perfect past the jack. And Beck now following down on the forehand. Some really nice bowls in position, and you can play this with some freedom on the draw. Just gonna sneak underneath. You can see there 3 bowls in waiting for Cottrell's team. Won't be any panic here from Chloe though. She'll just be asking for another positive draw. You tend to sort of think that if the jack's going to move, you'd rather do it there than your opposition, and a little bit tentative there from Olivia, but
it's a nice little roll up for Olivia Cartwright this morning, because she gets to play 30 bowls as a roll up, well, not a roll up, it's still an AO final, but a singles final. Here's Beck with weight.
Beck just trying to remove that bowl now. She's found the gap.
And
of course, there's 3 on the tee there as well, so any jack out of bounds, and if nothing else moves.
You can see Beck just frustrated with herself there. She doesn't like to miss. She's the epitome of a perfectionist.
And a competitor, that's for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side. She is as fiercely competitive as anyone we've met in this sport.
Olivia just coming up a little short there as well. And sometimes it's that you can be a bit tentative with those things, feeling like, oh, I don't want to touch the jack there, but I'm pretty sure Chloe would have been asking for for at least being 2 feet or 3 feet past and getting a bowl in position, because we all know that if you're giving your opposition 2 or 3 goes at a shot like this, chances are they're going to get it.
So 2 bowl fours, 15 ends, that's what we're playing to. And of course, if it's mathematically...
backhand. Very close to the jack and just misses high. Removes one of those bowls on the tee, but still looks like if the end kills.
Of course, if it is mathematically impossible to rectify a margin, so say it's 9 shots after 14 ends, we won't play the 15th, but it's very rare that happens in fours, especially an Australian Open fours final. Chloe Stewart with her first bowl of this second end.
Just getting caught up. Kelsey's even a chance of getting the jack and the back bowl there. I think it's Rebecca Lord's back bowl.
Gone for it.
No, her body language isn't good. Oh, nearly cut that over the jack.
Oh, that would have been a result and a half. So an opportunity for Chloe Stewart to add in a second here and get off the mark with a multiple.
These bowls are so important. I think I heard the one and only Clive Adams say once that it takes a whole nother end to get one. So it's really, really important to take that opportunity, and unfortunately Chloe's just come up a little shy there as well. But so it's one apiece by the looks of things.
Yep.
After 2 ends. Rebecca Lord opting for the mat on the tee, and they're going to, looks like they're setting up to play a 3/4 length end here.
And I remember from last year's final between the Kelly McGarrahan skipped rink and Kylie Lavis' team, multiples were so valuable, and even more so in the men's fours final, where across the 15 ends, only 2 multiples were scored between the team skipped by Ben Twist and that of Carl Healy. So they are very valuable in this caper because you have 8 bowls each, 16 bowls, very hard to make numbers.
Yeah, you think, oh well, there's more bowls, there's more opportunity, but you just get stifled for room really in the end, especially when you're coming to, you know, the pointy end of a competition like this, and everyone's in pretty good nick and playing well, and it becomes more about how you're manipulating those heads rather than sort of who's just getting close. So Linny Clark, lovely opening bowl there, just past the jack.
The adaptability of Lindsay throughout her career has been nothing short of brilliant, because she started off the first AO titles that she was winning in groups. Well, with this Force team, when they won it in 2014, she was the skip, and now she's the lead. So she's played in all positions. She knows exactly what to do, and she's just been a pioneer of this sport for so long. 19 years ago, she won the Commonwealth Games gold medal in the pairs at Darebin in Melbourne. Karen Murphy.
Yep.
Signed off as a world champion in 2023 from the Australian national team, the Jackaroos.
2 brilliant opening bowls there from Lindsay.
She's signing on to the Jack.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you make. I think, you know, the journey of going through, you know, coming up the ranks, she would have been leading, playing second, playing third, and then eventually skipping. As Laura Butler plays a nice shot there, up and down for shot, I think. And yeah, she would have been sort of learning those roles, and then once you're actually in a skips position, you know, you start to see those roles a little bit differently, perhaps, and it becomes less about, you know, trying to have the shot or beat your opponent, and more about how can I play the role for the team correctly, and in order to have the shot at the end of the end, you know. And you know, my own experience was that when I skipped for a long time and then went back to playing, you know, second and playing lead and third, I had a better appreciation for the position and for the role, and perhaps being a little bit more selfless than sort of thinking, oh, I need to have an impact, I need to have the shot now. Whereas, you know, now when you're playing those positions, it's about how do I make it as easy as possible for my teammates, and also how do I make it as hard as possible for my opposition.
The lead in all formats, extremely important. We see it in 3-bowl pairs, that if the lead can really get on, it's so hard to overcome. So, you know, I know they talk about 3-bowl pairs being a skips game, but it isn't, because the lead can set up the end. It's the same in fours as well. If your lead is on the money, it just gives the back three that little bit of confidence to play to things, and you can play with a little bit more weight, you can land on things. It just helps so much.
It just means you're dictating the terms, really. If your leads are on, you get to play your game a lot, you know, and whether it's defensive, whether it's aggressive, you know, particularly, and again, to the point that it's about how you want to get the shot at the end of the end. So some skippers like those bowls right on the jack. Some skippers don't actually mind it if they're past, you know, anywhere a metre to sort of 8 feet sort of thing. Like, and that's about having good communication with your team as well, and actually, you know, having those conversations and saying, you know, at the start of the game, what's my role, and where do you want my bowls to finish, you know. And yeah, I think sometimes that there's perhaps not enough of that between teams, and everyone just sort of thinks, well, I know what the role is, and and then when you get out there, you get a little bit frustrated with each other because you haven't actually talked to each other.
Yeah, the communication and playing with the team consistently, I think, helps. And you know, when you are Lindsay and Kelsey, they've played so much together. Then you throw Beck and Anne into this. You know, they have played together for an extremely long time. Of course, they won this tournament, the first ever fours tournament at the AO, replacing the triples back in 2014. So they've known each other for a long time, and they know exactly how to win together and communicate with each other.
Great shot there from Beck. Yeah, I guess when you've played so many games together, you don't even have to talk to each other. The communication is just a little wink or a nod, and you know you're on the same page anyway. But certainly when you're a bit fresh and you've got a new team, and it's good to have those sort of chats before you start playing, you know, in any tournament, or even, you know, before the game at least. Yeah. That bowl there from Beck's actually put it into a really nice position, and in amongst a lot of those blue disc bowls.
What I love about doing the finals of the fours is that, yes, all the bowls are multicoloured, but we have a marker and there's stickers on them all. It helps so much. Doing the fours on sectional play on Thursday and Friday last week, wanted to pull my hair out.
Yeah, and these days players don't really stick with a colour for very long, do they? That, you know, you can't get used to. I think Corey's probably one that's stuck with his set of bowls for a long time and pretty distinct, but yeah, lots of players changing different colour bowls every season, it seems.
We'll see Corey Wedlock in the men's pairs final today with Gary Kelly up against the Nelson brothers of Jacob and Kane in what promises to be a thrilling affair on green 4 here at the Broadbeach Bowls Club. Has Kelsey got enough? No.
Beautiful weight for the shot there, just hanging out a little bit on that side, which is interesting. It's usually quite a big wide side.
Big bowl for Chloe Stewart. A marker indicating that they're 3 down here. Her weight's good.
Just got to get down inside of that, and little inside edge, little rub. Very well played. Unfortunately, sort of fell against the bias there.
But she has made one, and Beck's...
Yeah, unfortunately, just falling against the bias meant that it's still exposed for Kelsey here, and you heard Bex just saying, any weight you want, go and get that bowl. It's on its way, and she's stalking it. Oh, she's got it right in the middle. What a shot.
Unbelievable from Kelsey Cottrell. Should we expect anything less?
No.
That's a huge start. They've taken 3 out.
A couple of high 10s from the girls. I love that. The girls do a lot of high 10s. Boys are more high 5s, but girls like a high 10.
And
well deserved.
They like a high 3 because that's exactly what the score was. 4-1. They make their move early. 4-1 after 3. Lindsay Clark, Anne Johns, Rebecca Van Ash and Kelsey Cottrell. Lindsay and Kelsey are the most decorated athletes in terms of titles won at the Australian Open, 10 apiece, looking to go further to 11. Jake Feldberg, another one in the vision impaired. He's won 10 titles, albeit a few less people in the draw, but still you got to beat who's in front of you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that tussle as well today. Damien Delgado. Yeah, one of my faves. I played a bit with him at a district sites just gone, and
he's a ripper.
He played amazing. Yeah,
and that's coming up after a little later on. I think 11:45 scheduled time, and he'll take on Chris Flavel, his Commonwealth Games teammate from 2022. They won a silver medal together in Birmingham. One will take home gold today.
Nice start there again from Lindsay. This will just be looking to apply more and more pressure now. Kelsey Cottrell's team. That last end really set up by Beck's little trail shot there on the backhand. You know, putting a lot of blue disc bowls around it, and you know, it's low-hanging fruit for Kelsey just to pick off a bowl that's sitting out like Chloe's was on that last end. You see Lindsay again. Yep, another good shot in there.
Really heaping that pressure on Beck this morning. On the backhand is Rebecca Lord. playing in the east-west direction on green 1. We don't usually play in this direction as much in tournament play. It's generally the north-south. It's something a little bit different that you have to deal with. Of course, these greens on Broadbeach are immaculate. Here is Anne Johns, the 8-time champion. 3 in the fours, 1 in the singles, 1 in the pairs, and 3 in the triples. It's very rare that you see players with the full set of 4.
Yeah.
And 3 of them in this team have got them.
Another good shot, just a foot short of the jack there, those 3 bowls. They are the 3 nearest for now. Butler's got a lovely line around this, just needs to get down to the jack. A great shot. Yep.
If you pardon the pun, but the Butler delivers.
Oh, well played, Val.
I have.
You've been sitting on that for a little while, haven't you?
No, we called Blake Butler on this very green the other day,
right.
and I dropped it there too. It's too good not to. When it's there, when it's low-hanging fruit, take the opportunity. And she took it.
Silver service for...
Very nice, Matthew. Lara's form on the Gold Coast over the last couple of years. We spoke about her AO titles, but it extends back to 2023 as she's in after this. So let's have a look at where this lands.
She's getting around the front again, and she's got lovely weight. They're 2 very, very good bowls.
Have a look at that. Simply brilliant. But yeah, 2023, she made the semi-finals in the singles, went down to Kelsey Cottrell. Of course, we know that she won it last year, but at the World Bowls Championships, she was able to make the singles quarterfinals representing Switzerland. So her father is of Swiss heritage. She's got the passport, so represented Swiss bowls and lost to Ellen Fife in the quarters.
You can see why. Just with those 2 bowls, it's not an easy thing to do when you can't see the jack. So those 3 bowls from Lindsay and Anne, they're covering up the jack line of sight, and they're still quite close. It's only 8 inches to a foot short of the jack. So to be able to just compartmentalise and say, all I have to do is get around that pack with the right weight, and she's gone and drawn 2 shots and absolutely, turned this end on its head, and really shown that it's possible as well for Olivia there. Played a lovely line and just struggling early days to find that speed, and probably wanting the green, or feeling sometimes it's easy to look at this green and surface and go, oh, this looks perfect, it looks nice and quick. But just until the sun gets on it and bakes it a little bit, you still need to give it that nice swing and make sure that you're sort of getting through your delivery. It might even be, worth sort of saying, just for the next 2 or 3 ends, let's just make sure that, make something achievable and say, we got 4 feet past the jack, it's all your space. You can get in there, and you can really have an impact if that bowl's dropping 4 feet short. You're right on it, aren't you?
Exactly right. It's the coaching mind of Matt Lucas. Let's see what Olivia Cartwright can conjure up. Chloe's just stepped off the rink. I think she's back now. Lara Butler just calling in the shots at the moment.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to sort of hand the reins over now and then, and especially if she's already been calling the first few bowls, to just say, "Oh, you keep calling the head. You're already creating a plan, so you just keep going, and then put me in at the end of it."
And she's gone jack high, has Olivia Cartwright, which is vital for her confidence, especially later today when she takes on Dawn Heyman in the women's singles final. She's had a blistering run through the draw, and she's looking very good as the emerging Jackaroo. She represented Australia at the Oceania Challenge last year, took home some gold. It's one of her career highlights to date.
Kelsey's bowl on the way on the forehand, and the girls are getting pretty interested in it. What a sensational bowl, Kelsey Cottrell.
There's a reason why they liked it, because it's ended up a shot. That is insane.
I think they were all holding their breath there for a second. They almost couldn't believe she got around it and drew the shot.
But it's Kelsey Cottrell. So humble. I said, what did you win by, 20? And she goes, it's close.
There's an empathy with players now, I think, the amount of games you play, and we've all been there. We've all been there on the wrong end of the stick and, got a little hiding. And I think sometimes the worst thing you can get is somebody coming up and saying, oh, how'd you go? It just opens up the fresh wound again, So, as I said, a bit of empathy, goes a long way, I think. And, definitely. Chloe's one of those that, never, you couldn't imagine her rubbing it in or anything like that. So, I've known Chloe for a long time, coming out of Kyneton, ex-Victorian as well myself. So, probably first met her maybe when she was 13 or 14 years old, just coming on the scene. And, she was all arms and legs then as well.
She's a proud Victorian, loves getting back down to Kyneton, and she's also a good Richmond supporter as well as Chloe Stewart. And
well, we can't be perfect, can we?
Well, for me, that's pretty good. So Lindsay just dropping one short. It's probably the first time she's really been about a metre short. She's been right on the money so far. Time for Rebecca Lord to really heap some pressure on here.
So there was a little team huddle after that end with Chloe and her charges. They've obviously had a little bit of a rethink about what length they want to play, and maybe just identifying that, you know, green's not as quick as they might have thought. So just dial it back a little bit and make sure we get everybody in the game and playing some good shots, and then, you know, down the track you might be able to muck around with the length a little bit more. It's paid dividends on the first 2 bowls anyway.
So Lindsay has put one short, but she's also got one pass, which is going to come in handy a little later on. Jack movement you'd expect with these players. And Lara says, I'll raise you one. The line from 4 of those bowls, absolutely excellent. Nice, healthy crowd in this morning. Sense of anticipation for the first day of Australian Open finals. Here's Anne Johns just rocking in.
Yeah, getting a little scrub off Lindsay's front one there and just sort of framing that up a little bit for perhaps her next one.
And affectionately known as Jimmy. Don't know the origin of that nickname, but she's been great friends with these 3 for a long time. Work so well together.
A handy bowl there from Lara.
She's an AO finals specialist, is Lara Butler. Knows how to win them. But you're playing against 4 AO finals specialists. And Anne Johns.
Well played. Yep.
That is a special bowl. Opens it up nicely. And now that Lindsay Clark bowl comes into the equation a little more.
She just took full advantage there of her first bowl, just getting in front and left side of the jack, and just sort of, as I said, framing up the shot. It just sort of creates the visual effect that, you know, I can get to my own bowl, I can get to the shot bowl, I can get to the jack. As soon as there's 2 or 3 options there, it just gives you so much more confidence to play that, you know, confident draw shot up there and executed it perfectly. A little bit of aggression here from Olivia on the forehand. To get down for the jack and got it. A little bit unfortunate to catch Lindsay's bowl on the way through, which is still the shot, but lots of room now, and you'd expect that we'll be back to the draw.
Drawing to a different line though, so we haven't been out here yet this morning. It'll be interesting to see how they go with the new track.
Yeah, no bowls being played out there. It's not quite like the difference you get overseas, where there's a real big sort of disparity between where the bowls are being played and the sort of virgin territory, if you like. You know, our greens are so manicured so well that, you know, it's going to be pretty similar sort of speed out there still.
Well, yeah, you look at what the greenkeepers here do. Aaron Sheriff, Chris, Les, Alan. They do such an amazing job here at Broadbeach. They're here early in the morning. Alan's the back of the rink watching on now. He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, it's green 1 been a bit of a happy hunting ground for me. I've played a lot of bowls out here, and it's just so predictable. And I mean, that's the most important thing about a bowls green, is if it's predictable, it doesn't really matter what speed it is, you know. And flat and turns the same, then you can sort of back your skills in a bit. But green 1 and definitely green 4 have been, you know, seriously good surfaces for a long time now. 10 years I've been on the coast, I can't really remember playing on a bad one.
Yep, it's one of my favourite clubs to come to and visit, to commentate at. It's always a hub of bowls, there's always people around, and there's an air of passion about the sport from the people that work here and the people that manicure the greens. Chloe Stewart.
Just needs to run a bit. She had a great cracking line. I'm not sure if she's got 3rd shot there or not. Looks like 3 to Kelsey's team, and Kelsey taking a high line here, definitely around that bowl. I think that's just coming up short. In a tricky spot there for Chloe though. She'll be trying to draw and probably might even be changing her shot here a little bit to try and promote her own. Just sneak under and get to Beck's shot bowl. Be backing her in to make that little adjustment, you know, metre and a half adjustment for weight. Here we go, it's on its way, and they're all pretty interested. She's played it perfectly. What a great shot that is. A few balls to negotiate there, and she absolutely picked the lock.
And this is the form that we've spoken about from Chloe Stewart over the last year and a half. She's in career best form. Not 30 yet, but she's absolutely dominating at the moment. Kelsey with weight again.
Unfortunate thing is that Kelsey's just got this radar going perfectly at the moment.
And the high tens are coming. Look at Lindsay. She's so happy out there. She's just loving life. There's a high 10. And very well deserved. Another 3 for the Cottrell combination. 7 shots to 4 after 5. We are scoring at a rate of knots, ladies and gentlemen.
That's 2 wins in a row this way where Chloe's team's just had the 1 bowl in the head and Kelsey's been able to pick that off. Give her a look on the backhand like that and she's probably $1.04.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The radar that she has that you mentioned, it's a laser. The ultimate precision, the ultimate skill, and it's why she's a multiple world champion and a Commonwealth Games gold medalist.
I played a little bit of pairs recently with Kelsey in a 4-a-side and a 5-a-side, and we've played bowls at the same club for some time, but never really actually played in the same rink together. And she was leading and I was skipping, and there was quite a few occasions where somebody else maybe you might have thought, we'll just try and keep the bowl in position or bowl on the rink, but there was quite a few occasions where I was just like, that is a perfect setup for your backhand, and you're gonna either eat the jack or get the bowl out clean.
Sure can.
So yeah, a seriously good player to partner up with, and we had a little bit of success in those games.
A little bit or a lot?
Wasn't quite the 20 shots like like Chloe was talking about, but no, we went pretty good together. So yeah, if there's any opportunities to get a game with her again, I'll definitely I'll be putting my hand up. And I think the other thing is that she's just so calm, really calm influence. And for those that know me, I can get a little bit ambitious at time or over ambitious, and she's quite good at just saying, hey, you probably don't need to try and play a bowl that hits 15 edges and gets the jack, just draw one. So yeah,
you're a thinker, Matt. And Rebecca Lord, it's the touch up. Lindsay was on top there. She'll take it.
Really good shot. Toucher on the tee is a lot of value in this game,
especially this respot format. It's the breeze just picking up a little here at Broadbeach. You can hear it in the microphones. Chloe Stewart has decked out the entire team in spalms, the sun protection sleeves, which she is the general manager of. She's absolutely dominated. I remember when she started there and worked her way up to, I call her the queen of spalms.
What is she now? She's CEO or something?
General manager.
Oh, gosh.
She's got her thermal spalms on this morning. It's not a skivvy. Just to keep the coldness out. And Lara Butler
got this forehand. I got that right too for a lefty. Forehand working very nicely going down this way. And John's on the backhand and just a little bit underneath here and just turning up Rebecca Lord's front bowl. So 3 shots there. It's Chloe Stewart's team. There's not a lot of mucking around on the mat with Lara Butler either. She knows the line, she knows her weight, and she's just ready to play her next bowl. That's another counter.
So we're scoring in numbers. 3 threes in a row, which is very rare for a game of fours.
You can see Kelsey sort of eyeing that shot off now and asking Beck to play some weight through there, maybe get the jack in the ditch.
Beck has one of the best weighted shots going around. It's coming.
Just pick the gap.
One more opportunity though. There's an air of relaxation about Lindsay, Kelsey, Beck and Anne. They're laughing a lot out there. You would when you've been out here so many times before.
Yeah, I think when you get to this stage, I think there's probably more excitement and enjoyment than the stress. I think you're probably stressing on the way in a little bit more than when you actually just get to the final stage and you get to enjoy the moment with everybody. Beck lining up on the forehand again. She was only probably a bowl away with her first. She's looking more intently with this one. Just underneath.
Almost the same result. Shaving the gap one way, shaving the gap the other. So now a chance for Olivia Cartwright to pop in another pressure bowl on Kelsey Cottrell.
See Chloe just standing beyond the jack there. And Olivia's just coming up shy there again.
Do you reckon Dawn Heyman's watching this saying, T to T?
Well, I think the green will be a little bit different by the time that game comes around, but
at 2 o'clock, green 4 it's humming.
Yep.
Especially in the afternoon, the shadows aren't quite there yet. So Chloe Stewart has got a very promising head to play to.
Whether Kelsey just holds her nerve here and continues that line of attack.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be bang and crash here, or will she try and draw one in first?
She's lining up on the backhand, so that tells me she's getting the bowl or the jack.
Backhand weight from Kelsey Cottrell. It's been a laser so far. She's on her haunches watching.
Oh.
How can that happen 3 times in a row?
Gap, yes.
These two met each other in the Australian Indoor Championships final last year, and it was a cracker. Went all the way to the 3-end tiebreak. Was third set. It was an amazing final. Chloe did so well to come back into it. Very unlucky to lose it. It's one of those matches where they didn't deserve to be a loser. She's got enough weight here to run in. Is that enough to add a 5th?
Yeah, and sort of closed that gap a little bit, but actually took that cannon or Charlie or whatever you want to call it away of Olivia's 2 bowls. It actually looked like that could have gone through and had some impact and scattered some bowls as well. So
is Kelsey going to draw this, maybe minimise or is she going to go big?
It sounds like Beck wants her to go again. So I think Beck indicating the split was a pretty good result as well.
She likes this. Watching.
She's got the split perfect and got the jack as well. A fantastic conversion. It's really taken some pain out of it. Only the one shot there now, and it was that toucher on the tee of Rebecca Lords.
Can you hear me there, Kira?
It's a bit hard to see from this angle, but I don't know whether Chloe's got an opportunity to land Kelsey's bowl for a number here. looks like it could be worth two, maybe three if she stays.
Hey, Kira, anything there? Final bowl of this sixth end. We're over a third of the way through this final. It's been what we thought it was going to be. Shot making, sensational draws. Can Chloe Stewart add in another?
I get the impression that that's what she's looking for. She's just going to get caught up on the front bowls there, but I think she was definitely trying to land Kelsey's bowl and make a little number there, but nevertheless, it's a 1 to Chloe.
And what I'm noticing now is that they're really utilising having last bowl. No one has won consecutive ends in this contest, so it's going to be who can do that first and who can hop on and get some momentum, because no one has really been able to harness it as of yet. 3 ends won apiece. It's just the telling difference was the 2 triples scored by the Clark, Johns, Van Aschen, Cottrell combination.
So they're opting for that slightly shorter length again, heading back this way. They did have some success with it other than sort of losing the end. They did play a pretty good end coming back this way, and it was only after Kelsey's heroics that they dropped 3, but definitely looking to break the mould and win an end coming back this way.
I was talking to Rebecca Lord before, and she's very superstitious, she was saying, and I think Olivia Cartwright came into the room and said, "Oh, I'm the only one that doesn't have drawstrings on my jumper," so, or had drawstrings, so I think they all went for the drawstrings, all had to wear the same thing. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think I've got too many superstitions. But yeah, have you got any?
In the commentary box, yes.
Yeah.
I have to have my microphone on the right.
Right, okay.
I don't know why. A lot of people have it on the left, but I'm so used to having it on the right. If it's on the left, it bothers me.
Right. What about the socks? Are they the same socks? You're rocking the same one?
Yeah, same socks. That would do my head in if I had odd socks on. I pin my socks to keep the pair when I wash them. That's how OCD I am.
Right, that's next level.
Yeah. That's probably also a superstition. So shout out to Nonna and Dad who taught me that. But enough about my weird habits.
Well, talking about habits though, I think Lindsay's making a habit of sort of peppering the jack at the moment. And she's just getting in the road of that draw shot and now taking up residence right on top of it.
This is the luxury, I think, if you're Kelsey, to have your best friend and long-time teammate in Lindsay Clark leading up for you. But also just the quality that Lindsay possesses. Her draw game is splendid. And she didn't play singles this year, Lindsay, but you can imagine that she would have given it a fair shake. So Lara's son Tyson is here, her and Blake Butler having him late last year. She won the singles title while pregnant, and Alan Fife won the pairs title while pregnant. So it was a real baby fest last year. I saw Chrissy and Els posted a photo of their win last year, and then this year in their first match with little Archie. Great to see him at the bowls, and great to see Tyson up here.
A really good shot here from Anne. Let's make the target just a half a bowl bigger. And after, yeah, it looks like she's going to play a little bit of weight at this now. After Butler's good position with her last bowl there, it looks like Olivia's going to play some weight at this head now. Might just be what she needs as well. Just create a shot, get her in the game.
It's arriving weight, and it's created something, but still not, well, it's actually probably a little bit worse. than
Yeah,
what it
if
was.
anything.
She didn't go full tilt at it.
No, and quite often that's the weight you try and get, particularly when there's the respot involved. You're trying to get your third or your second to play that weight with a bowl still relevant, and giving your thirds and your skips an opportunity to hit ahead if they really have to, with some protection at the back. Chloe might get her to go again on the backhand here, or draw. Just giving you both of those options now. Either drawing a shot on the forehand or running the bowls on the backhand, and it looks like Olivia's opted the backhand option. The bowl's on its way.
Still a pretty positive head for the Cottrell combination.
Some really good instruction there from Kelsey. You can hear she's trying to get this head to look a little bit harder for Chloe. She's trying to change a couple of little angles here, and she's back played it really well. A little bit unlucky to not sort of get a split there and tidy it up a little bit more. I think Chloe's probably going to opt the forehand draw.
And it's what I love about this sport. You know, a lot of people coming in, and I was very similar when I came into the sport. You just think, oh, you just got to get it close to the jack every time. But in this format, especially, you have to do a little bit of tidying, and that's your job as a skip, to try and dictate that and make it as good as it can be for you to play those big bowls at the end to make those collects. And that's what Kelsey did there. So Chloe Stewart, big bowl for her coming up on this 7th exchange.
I've read the cue right here as well. She's opted that forehand draw.
Don't mind it, but it's underneath.
Just a little underlined. The weight was perfect. The weight was going to be basically jack high, I think. Kelsey looking to cover off on that option of Chloe playing some weight on the backhand. Obviously closed up that gap too as well with her last bowl, so but I think Chloe's probably going to back herself.
149 caps for the Jackaroos, Chloe Stewart.
Yep, she's going to play some more weight now. Back herself to hit that target and reduce, or hopefully get a result.
Looking for a 4th fours title. This is a telling bowl in her quest to do so.
Looks pretty good. Oh, she's got one bowl away.
Desperately unlucky. She was close. But a chance now. You mentioned twisting the blade before, Lucas, Kelsey Cottrell. An opportunity to add in a 4th and boast a 6-shot buffer.
Just needs to settle in a little bit. And she's found a nice seat there on Bex. Looks like 4.
We'll get the adjudication from the players. And that is just, so it is a 4. And 11-5 is the score. Still no one has won consecutive ends, but the thing is, of the 3 scores that the Stewart combination have had, 2 of them have been singles. Of the 4 scores that the Cottrell combination have had, a 3, a 3, and a 4. And that's the telling blow.
Yeah, it's just been probably the front three have just been a little bit more consistent. You know, yes, Chloe's played some big bowls, and unfortunately they've just been a little bit thin in the head. And you know, Kelsey, as we talked about, you know, radar's right on, and sometimes if there's that freedom that you know you're only going to drop a one or whatever it might be, you've got the confidence to really put your ears back and go and get it. And when you do, and then there's high tens flying around everywhere, and it just creates that little bit of doubt, you know, and that's the battle in the head, isn't it, that we start to have.
And that's where, as a skip, you're not just the player at the back end who's got to play the good bowls. You've got to keep your teammates engaged. You've got to keep them up. You've got to try and keep those good vibes flowing.
Yeah. It's really it's a management position.
Yeah. Well, Chloe, as a general manager, should be quite used to that.
Up against the marketing manager. So yeah, just
and neither of their names are Karen.
They're just very good at getting the best out of their team. You know, that's often the best thing about, or the most important thing about skippers. Yes, you've got to be able to play the bowls, but you've got to be able to manage that team well and understand what gets the best out of each individual. And they're all different, you know, like some people need pacification and some people need a little rocket every now and then, and you've got to pick your mark and pick your times. It's it's not just a case of lobbing bowls down at the end and hoping you get the shot. Another good shot there from Anne, covering up the jack a little bit, finding the centre line. Nice result.
You've also got Beck, who is the high performance manager at Bowls Australia. You've got Lindsay, who's a coach, so they just know how to manage people. And it'll be interesting to see how this Stewart combination can figure their way out of this, because it's not looking good. But in fours, when you're within 8, you're still a chance.
Absolutely. Yep.
Scoring 8, that's another question.
There certainly won't be any panic from Chloe at this stage. You know, she's played some good bowls early to sort of give her team a chance to sort of find their feet and find their way into the game, and I'm sure they will. I mean, Butler's probably been the pick so far, and definitely in this direction, and she's playing a good one here as well. She's just drawn the shot, second shot.
Very close. It's a good home either way.
Great position. So a ball like that tucked away is second shot. If it's second shot and sitting jack high, it's just cannon fodder, really. You know, it's great to get cut down the count, but cutting down the count and being sort of tucked away and hidden in that position is so much more value.
You can see a lot of famous faces in the stands. Caitlin Inch, the partner of Chloe, Olivia and Lara in the 2023 final. Skip on that combination, or on that day. That's watching on. Beck trying to weld this one in, not getting there. Jackie Hudson and Rob Hudson, world champions in the vision impaired mixed pairs. They've walked through. Sure, they're watching all the disability action that's happening today as well. Here's Olivia Cartwright from the Moama Bowling Club. Of course, great people at Moama. We go there every February for the Bowls Premier League. Swanee Walledge does a great job. Same with Stewie and Kevy.
Very, very unlucky there from Olivia. You know, the hard thing about that one there is you get the edge of the bowl, and if it lifts over once, you expose the jack, and then there's a really nice shot on. Unfortunately, I mean, the bowl still gets to a great position behind the head, but you just can't trail the jack there yet. You can always put that Anne's bowl over the top of the jack and make a number perhaps down the line, but I think that's 3. They got 3 in waiting there. But of course, that just means you're turning Anne's bowl over with the jack as well, and it's probably going to end up in the same spot.
I think she's a bit tight here, Olivia.
Still beautiful weight. It's a much better effort for weight there from Olivia, and the bowl's relevant now, so that Chloe knows she can play there with confidence if nothing changes.
But it is a big day for the Moama Bowling Club. They'll be watching this match and this afternoon's singles final with vested interests. And of course tomorrow, Aaron Sheriff as well, because he plays for the Moama Steamers in the Bowls Premier League. He's won a title with them, multiple MVP titles with them. And Kelsey Cottrell from your local, Helensvale.
Yep, absolutely. Gold Coast Hawks.
They won the Bowls Premier League in February.
They certainly did.
From the outhouse to the penthouse. Last in BBL 20 in November. And didn't they storm to the title in February? We'll be back at Pine Rivers in November, or October this time. Very excited for that. Chloe Stewart.
She's pretty close. Pretty close here. She's found a gap. Dropped down. I don't think that's the shot. I think it's second shot.
Well,
very stiff.
Is the closest that anybody's been to winning consecutive ends. Kelsey's got one bowl to try and save this and really harness this momentum to extend the lead to 7 or even beyond. Would be highly beneficial.
Oh, yeah, I think she might chance her arm here and try and clip this bowl off if nothing changes. She's got a bowl on the tee. She might have the next. There you go. So she could potentially be a chance of getting all 3 of the bowls away as well if she gets the wing dark blue one of Lindsay Clark's. If she gets that correct, it could actually get all 3 bowls away. Be left with plenty. She's definitely in the area. Excuse me, she got all 3 bowls away, and I think they're holding 5.
That is naughty. Absolutely brilliant from Chloe Stewart. I think they're going to measure, but that is a telling blow in this narrative. That is ridiculously good. 2 of them are taken out.
Oh no, I probably didn't see Kelsey's bowl there, so it might be 3. This might be a measure for 3.
This is a measure for the 3rd at the moment. Chloe's were holding 2, so it is a 3. And that is a much needed one at that. From going down by 7, it looked like it was going to be that way. Chloe Stewart plays the bomb, and it's only 3 shots the difference. 11-8. We've rounded the halfway point of this contest. 8 ends played, 7 to go.
I might have to change my middle name to Nostradamus after that one, I think. She got that absolutely perfect. All 3 bowls away. Jack didn't move. She really has given her team a real opportunity to, and quite often when the skips are playing bowls like that, it just breeds a lot of confidence with the team underneath as well, and you might find they grow a leg or 2 here.
Still going end for end. Last bowl proving pivotal once more, as it does generally when you get to this sort of stage of a tournament.
Beck just maybe a little excited after seeing that last bowl from Chloe. She's gone through, but...
Well, it can be the adrenaline, and we've seen that a lot throughout the tournament. Someone will play a bowl, whether it's on your team or not, and you just get this rush of blood. And the ever-calm Clark.
I don't know. I think there's only one instance where I can actually say that I felt adrenaline playing long bowls. I'm pretty calm kind of character generally.
Can attest to that.
But yeah, it's definitely keeping. I think you've got to be wary of just keeping your heart rate in check, and It's funny sometimes. Aaron Sheriff and I sort of, I think even after the last AO singles final where he drew that shot to beat Cohen, game down, we had a little giggle. I said, what was your heart rate when you played that one, mate? And he said, about 58. But that's the kind of state you need to be in to be able to, produce in those moments. And
what was his heart rate yesterday, do you think?
No, I think he still would have been the same. You could just tell he's just willing to accept the outcome, but also willing to give his bowl every opportunity at having an impact. And he's
a genius.
He's the most confident guy in that spot. I think that's really what sets players apart. Everybody can play, as I said earlier in the piece. Everyone can play the same shot. They can all play a draw shot to win a game, or they can all, rake a bowl out, or get the jack in the ditch, or anything like that. The shots are the shots, but being able to produce it in each and every scenario is the thing that sets people apart. And sometimes the moment swallows people up, but Aaron tends to swallow up the moment.
And yesterday, I was so lucky to be in the commentary position for that clash between Aaron Sheriff and Cohen Lipton. It was a carbon copy of last year's final. Aaron Sheriff up in the checkout zone within an end of victory, 20-12. Cohen fights his way back to hold game, and he stepped up to the bank and didn't look at Aaron's last bowl, and he knew something was coming. And we chatted to Aaron afterwards. You can go back and watch it on Bowls Australia's YouTube channel, and Omar was shaking. He couldn't speak. The emotion, it all had sunk in at the end of it, and he was here this morning very relaxed, but a 7th Australian Open final, going for 4 in a row, something that we thought was never, ever going to be achievable or within the realms of possibility, and he's going for it.
Talk about the girls hogging some titles. God, Aaron.
6 singles.
Give somebody else a go, will you?
Yeah. 6 singles, going for 4 in a row in fields of 1,300 plus. This is one of the greatest achievements if he can do it in the Australian sporting landscape. We thought Rafael Nadal winning 14 French Opens. He's only beating 127 other people. Omar's got over 1,000 to deal with.
It's his right, isn't it? It really is his right now, and you can just tell he's just hell-bent on not giving his scalp away. And, it's probably what's really driving him now, is that he feels like he feels like he owns it, so he's owned it for the last 4 years. He just doesn't want to give it away.
Nathan Wilson, the 2014 champion, is his next contender and the next challenger for the title. So the only other person to beat him this decade is Nathan's brother, Aaron. So can the Wilson brothers take the only scalp of Aaron Sheriff?
He's a dynamic player. Nathan Wilson, Dogger, as he's known to his mates. We've seen another very good shot going from Beck, and that's... Unfortunately, it's down to Chloe or bust just at the moment. It does look like there's room enough on the forehand to draw and cut this down, and potentially even draw the shot still. He wouldn't back against her at the moment. The bowl away. She might need a little bit of help off the wing bowl here, just outside of that. Line was good. Probably just looking to drop 5 feet with her next.
Really big couple of bowls again. I feel like we've said that a lot, but they're down another number.
Kelsey trying to add to the pain, and she did a little bit there, I think.
I think that's in. It's close to it anyway.
Looks like 5 at the moment.
Chloe's last bowl of 5 here would be catastrophic.
She looks a little bit tighter for line. She might actually have sent that a little quicker too.
All right, so now this is the move for Kelsey Cottrell, Lindsay Clark, Anne Johns and Rebecca Van Ash. The title would almost possibly be held on this bowl if she can add another one.
Well, it would make it very difficult.
9 last year for Kelly McCarrahan, where she drew a 5th.
She's got perfect weight for it and drawn in.
When it's N9 in 2025, that might just be the title winning end.
Yeah, it looks like 6. It's a big count. 6 will move them to 17, 9 shots in front.
Yeah. And that's, more importantly, more than a full count ahead.
Yeah. It's confirmed 6 shots.
Wow.
So
and
I'm
again,
going to say a little bit of a soft 6 there. The furthest bowl away, close to 1.5 meters. So I was a bit disappointed with, not being able to just get a couple of bowls in that area. Even if you're dropping a 1 there, and that was obviously Chloe's attempts were to try and sort of cut that down. It's not necessarily about getting shot every end. It's just about taking your medicine and picking your moments to attack.
Well, 6 shots. It's a gargantuan score, and the margin 17-8. So 9 shots.
Is that correct? No, that's just changed on the board now.
So 17-8. It's going to be mightily difficult for the Lord Cartwright Butler Stewart team to rectify this, but they do possess an abundance of quality.
There's certainly still enough ends, and they've proved that they can score as well. Albeit needing to rip 3 bowls out of a head to get a number, but they've proved to themselves that they can score, and the conversation's just got to be the next end. You just have to win the next end. If they're any chance, they're probably going to win 4 of the last 5.
And when neither team has won consecutive ends, they're going to have to defy the odds, really.
Yeah.
Next game at 11:15, Damien Delgado and Chris Flavel. Multi-disability men's singles. First time we've had the multi-disability men's singles on this rink since 2022, when David Mins and Frank Krislovich dazzled us with a scintillating show. Still plenty to play out here, though.
I can't think, was it last year or the year before we sat together?
Serena and Cheryl, 2023.
23, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was a long contest, timed out in the end, but Cheryl managed to peg the lead back just. Got to 21-17 on Serena's birthday too.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed some thrillers out here, you and I, Matty Lucas.
We have. Shot there from Lara.
So if you've just joined us, it was 4-all after 4 ends, but then Lindsay, Anne, Rebecca and Kelsey have gone 3, dropped a 1, scored a 4, dropped a 3, and then a big 6 on N9. It's proving to be a very tough task for the Stewart combo. We'll hear from the winners after this match as well. Looking forward to chatting to whoever they may be.
landing the bowl there for another multiple. Looks like maybe 2, possibly 3, 2. They did push that jack high bowl back into a position again where there's a little cluster of white bowls accumulating. Just getting the jack there's the hard part, isn't it? Kelsey looking to cover off on the tee here now, I think. There you go, sort of covering, trying to get a little bit of both, maybe cover the trail and cover the tee. A respot. Of course, jack out of bounds is replaced at the 2 metre mark. Beck's played that very well. Good bowling position there. Some of the games that we played throughout this this tournament, we had to do a little bit of schooling sometimes on respotting the jack, about the front of the jack at the back of the tee. Lots of people just sort of plonking it down on the crosshairs, and can make a big difference.
Well, it can. A millimetre can make the difference, really. And you have to be. I'm one of those people. I've got to be by the book. If it's in the rules, it's what you've got to do. And I don't like that laissez-faire attitude towards it. Kelsey Cottrell. They are in prime position. Can she add to the pain?
Yeah, currently holding 3 at the head. I don't know that she's really trying to add. I think she's just trying to cover off against any danger of dropping number, and she's found herself in a A+ position there with that bowl.
Lots of claps from Lindsay. Here's Chloe.
We're playing that little backhand looky, trying to get a bit of jack. Yeah, just under the line. But you can see the weight she's trying to play and the intent behind that. Chloe will be hard pressed to get all 3 of those bowls out this time, I think. So Beck's just saying you can count and cover off as well against, I think that's Lara Butler's bowl. Kelsey just working whether or not she can play the same weight at it or needs to drop a little bit. Looks like she's playing it pretty well.
Pretty well.
She's got it's jack, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She's played it so well, she's got the jack and probably only holding 1 shot now.
But I think...
We just heard Chloe say, is that bad? It's actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, she brought the jack into view here, Kelsey. So is it multiple ends in a row for the Cottrell combo? Or can Chloe Stewart get them back on the board?
Just looking for some confirmation about which hand to play, what looks best to get the bowl away cleanly, because it looks like it. If she gets it in the middle, it's only going back through the second shots. Ball's on its way. Oh, she's got a little result there.
Bit of everything.
Off the front. She's potentially made a 3 out of that.
You're kidding.
There's a bit of carnage.
2 taken out. So again, no one can get the consecutive ends, and importantly, this will bring them under that full count of 8. So mathematically, stay within reach within an end.
If we're using poker terms, she just hit a runner. She did get a 3 out of that.
Wow. And there was zero celebration for that, because I think they understand that that was a fortunate result. And hopefully there's no PTSD for Lindsay Clark and Kelsey Cottrell after what happened in the pairs yesterday, because it was very similar to that.
Look, she was certainly in the area. I mean, no doubt that she wouldn't have been thinking, I'm going to get that bowl and that bowl and then the shot bowl away. But had she missed that little edge, you know, she might have been getting the jack anyway. So still a good swing and certainly some fortune on the back of it.
7 shots the difference, or 6 shots I should say. 17 to 11.
Well, that's 1 out of the 4 I said that they'll need to get. So,
and a 3 is just
pivotal. Any multiples are a bonus, yeah.
Pivotal. The last 2 ends that they've scored on, they've scored 2 3s. So they're not ticking up in singles like they were. Of the 5 ends they have netted, it's been 3 3s and 2 1s.
Jack high bowl, just short of jack high there from Beck. You see they had another little huddle and chat about what length that we want to play. Obviously abandoning now that shorter length, coming back towards the road end. Turning in nicely towards the jack here as well, and just cornered it. Fortunately didn't get enough of that. It looks like it's probably one to Lindsay's jack high bowl there. Lindsay doubling up. Perhaps only one. It might be one on the measure there. Lower out just a little bit high. Great speed and into a nice little catching position there. Very good seconding weight. Anne's played this very well. Again, great speed. It's got a lot of value. The deepest bowl on the rink and nestled in nicely behind Lindsay's counter. It looks like the body language wanting this to turn a little bit. Don't want to touch that down. That'll definitely bring it into 2 now, I think. Unless the angle deceives me.
It's very rare in a fours game that singles are the rarity, when last year that was all they were in the finals. They were so tight. Here we've seen some really enormous numbers.
See Anne sneaking in behind the jack with another good shot. Marker only indicating 2, so maybe that angle is deceiving me a little bit.
Generally when you're at, you know, the 11th end, if you're on 11, you're doing quite well.
Yep.
And you'd rarely find yourself 6 shots down, and that's where this team finds themselves at the moment. What has Olivia Cartwright delivered?
They've certainly all found their weight on this end. Perhaps just taking the jack length out to, you know, closer to the 3/4 or 3/4 to full length. Just allowing them to get through the deliveries a little bit better and commit to the bowl a bit more. Here's another well-weighted bowl coming in from Beck. So a little opportunity here for Olivia to impose herself on the game and at the very least land on this jack high bowl. But if she can get the jack over to the left-hand side of the green here, there are bowls waiting. Asking it to hurry. Oh, she's just found the gap. What a great effort. Hear the moans and groans from the crowd. A little bit of air coming out of the balloon there. No doubt Beck will be looking to sort of match those bowls up now.
That's where she's going.
Still got a bit of turning to do.
It's probably counted.
I think she has counted.
Yep. It's 3 now.
I think it might be 4. I'm trying really hard to get that bowl in.
It's close. It is very close. I think it'd be a measure for 4. Still a lot of water to go under that bridge anyways. 4 bowls left to come on this 11th exchange.
Chloe's playing a seriously good skipper's game here. She's had so much impact. She's got another opportunity here to really swing a 3 or 4 shot down into a 3 or 4 shot advantage. They like it.
She's close.
They're starting to really like it. She hasn't got the gap as well as she...
No.
She did, but...
It's a Stewart special. A Stewart special. And now from 3 down, could have been 4. 1 up. Now it's time for Kelsey Cottrell to go to the rescue. Consecutive ends have been a scarcity. Not one has happened. Can Chloe Stewart hold on here?
This is a little nervy draw shot here. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes up a little bit shy, and she is. And the reason being is that, the slight little back edge of the jack there exposes the jack and makes the shot a lot easier for Chloe. It's definitely still on though, and she'll be looking to press this little advantage she's got now.
Chloe Stewart, this is a massive bowl.
She's in a good area again. Not sure she sent it. Oh, she'll be kicking herself there.
Because the chance was on.
It's a really, really good opportunity.
And the line was spot on.
Yeah.
But they're still holding.
They're
and any shot is a bonus.
This is where the conversation between Beck and Kelsey will be around. Are we just happy to just drop a 1 here and take our medicine instead of, potentially trying to turn this head over and, for the sake of making 1 or 2 shots, the risk and reward is the way up.
33 Australian Open titles between the team in blue.
They might even potentially be talking about playing some extra weight here, so
They've got the tee.
Yeah, so that the jack doesn't sort of just pop and bobble around there. It's not without its danger though as well.
Well, yeah, any of
Couple
those.
Bowls in front could easily rattle around in the head.
And if the jack does get killed, if you play with weight, you could push one of your opponent's bowls up.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, it looks like, they've definitely got the tee covered here. But as you say, if you're playing that weight, you invite, all the good, and you invite all the danger as well. Looks like she's going to play some weight here.
first time in this fours final, consecutive ends have been won by one of the teams. For Chloe Stewart, it's hers, and it's beneficial because they're still behind by 5, but a little bit of momentum now. 3 of the last 4 ends have gone their way. 17 shots to 12. There's 18 on the scoreboard, but no, it is confirmed. It is 17-12.
I did take a little breath there when Kelsey ran into that front pole. I thought I didn't want to play Nostradamus in that fashion for her. She probably would have come over and given me one right on the chin, I think, if that was the case. Luckily, there was no further damage to the head. So Beck just overplaying that one.
Yeah, and almost lost the jack in the ditch there as well. So just a little bit of adrenaline.
Yeah, and you know, as we said earlier in the piece, the green will be just freeing up, starting to get a little bit more turn.
Barely a shadow on it.
Yeah.
What's Linny got?
Down in the shadows there. Pole looks like it's disappeared on the screen there, but it's sitting up, foot or so off the ditch. You can see this forehand coming down this way is really starting to open up and take some grass. It's not a bad little correction.
Healthy amount of people watching on at the moment. Great to see these 8 superstars of the sport. Some of them bona fide legends already.
Lindsay's nice little correction there, and that's straight out of the Jackaroo playbook, that one. One on, one behind.
Well, what is it for the Swiss playbook? What can Lara Butler do? Of course, you'll think Butler, that's not Swiss. Well, she's married to Blake Butler and maiden name is Mertz.
Very good second shot there. I feel like if Chloe's Chargers can just put a couple around it here, Chloe's she's in that mood. She's in a mood to really convert, and there's a good shot there from Anne. A toucher behind the jack, a lot of value there. Yeah, Chloe's definitely, I mean, she'd be feeling super confident now, having sort of arrested a few of those nasty looking ends, you know, and if she gets an opportunity to just pick the eyes off one bowl to make a number, I think she'll be pretty confident in getting it.
The margin stretched as far as 9. The last 2 ends have gone the way of Chloe Stewart and her team.
And getting a lovely little result there off the wide bowl. Potentially making a 2 or 3. Just overplaying that a little bit, but you definitely do have to get out towards the edge of the rink there on the forehand now.
Yeah, it's really turning beautifully, and this is why green 1 and green 4, 2 and 3 as well, not bad. But it's just a wonderful place to play, even for a novice like me.
Slightly tighter side, generally speaking, on this backhand side here for Beck. See that ball just holding a nice line. that's the one I say. There's a little bit of dust on the windshield now. She sort of got in the way there of Olivia. Staying on the forehand. I think she was given the option to maybe even just tickle one of those bowls up on the backhand side that are sitting prime for a promotion. Bit of middle management sort of stuff. Bit more interest in this one from Olivia. She's chasing it up. Still got a little bit of running to do though.
Beck Van Ash, she hates odd numbers, she says. She's won 5 Australian Open titles, so she'll want to make it a 6th.
Beck just negotiating through that gap perfectly.
Oh,
just coming up short.
Another 3 centimetres that was in the count.
Yep.
That was a mighty effort. So now Chloe again being asked some questions. The dam wall, we thought it broke, but she's put a couple more bricks back in to stem the flow.
Yeah, she's in a really tight spot here. There's not a lot going for her. See her taking her time behind the mat here, just being sure about what she wants to commit to, and she's going to play the backhand side and try and turn one of these bowls up. Needs the hold, I think. If she can hold to the inside of that bowl and drop. Oh.
Good effort.
Still the 2 to Kelsey Cottrell's team.
Kelsey launched a new range of clothing with Drake's Pride just prior to the AO, the Wimbledon collection, for her love of tennis. And of course Wimbledon played on grass like bowls. And she's one of the queens of it.
I'm liking those shoes, a little bit of bling on the shoes there.
I actually spoke to her beforehand and said I really like those. Just the gold on them. See her walking up the rink now. Deep conversation.
This is, I mean, she's got out of some real binds so far, Kelsey, but this is probably the degree of difficulty, I'd say 100. This bowl's got to be absolutely perfect to make an impact, and it might be a little bit of rumble and hope. If she's on the forehand, I think that's the shot she's going to play.
She does have a good runner.
Looking at that head, it's probably the best option now. Get through her own, potentially sort of land in, and get her bowl to run on for a metre, playing that kind of weight.
Weight it is.
And she's playing the weight really well here. If she gets the... Oh, she's managed to peel all of her bowls out.
Oh, wow, that is... Well, this is now cataclysmic.
Don't know if that Rebecca Lord's bowls hung around for maybe 3rd. Could be as much as 4.
And if Kelsey obliges, this could put the game to bed.
You feel for Chloe in that spot. I mean, she played the right shot in the scenario. It looks like 4. Marcus holding 4 up.
But you said it had to be perfect.
It did, yeah. It, you know, such a difficult shot, and she's got herself out of so many tough situations already. Eventually, the damn wall busts, and when it does,
it pours.
It's like a 4 or a 5,
and
then it'll be, you know, it'll be a miracle to get out of a spot like that. Kelsey missing the free throw there. She had quite a lot of room.
But I think if you look at the last two ends, you know, they won multiple ends here, Chloe and her team, but they only scored 4 from them. And Kelsey's just rebounded and made 4 from just a single exchange, which is just, it hurts if you are the team kitted out in peach. Danger signs. Beck helps with the measure. Big thank you to our ITOs and markers and all the volunteers here at the Australian Open in 2025. They are the lifeblood of the sport. And our ITO shows 4 paddles. And the lead is back to 9. How many ends do we have left? 21 shots to 12. Things are looking dangerous. If your names, Rebecca Lord, Olivia Cartwright, Lara Butler and Chloe Stewart. If they do drop another end, it's going to look all the more likely like it might be over after 14.
Yeah, I think you just got to, this is where you've just got to be giving every bowl a chance to touch the jack, you know. If it happens to, you know, go sour and you drop a number on this end because you're trying to sort of force the issue a bit, so be it. If it doesn't happen, well, if you're not trying to play that mode now, you're leaving it too late, really. So giving every bowl a chance, or even sometimes when you've got a respot rule in play, you know, you can try and load that tee up a little bit early and try and beat them to the punch a bit. But then, you know, it becomes city of the bush on the last couple of bowls. And Lindsay Clark sneaking up.
She has led superbly today. And we said the lead battle in 4s, as it is anywhere, mightily important. And Lindsay has just come to the party.
They really complemented each other really well, the girls in blue, and sort of definitely cashed in when Lindsay's been around it and played some really nice sort of aggressive draw shots, I'd call them, and sort of just changed the angles on things, and, you know, not giving Chloe's girls a chance to, you know, having 2 or 3 goes at the same shot.
It runs.
Speak of the devil. She's played a bottler there. Turn that bowl out for 2.
Unbelievable. You are Nostradamus. So the run to the final, 18-7, 22, 17-7 and 15-9. This Cottrell combination, they've been rampant at 15-9 yesterday against the Ellen Faulkner, Ellen Fife, Brianna Smith and Christina Christic, or Van Neerup combination. There's a close-up look at Kelsey's shoes. Black with the gold trimming. Don't mind them at all. Unfortunately, only women's sizing, I think.
Oh, are they?
I don't know, I think so.
Okay.
Well, Kelsey's collection's only in women's, so...
Right.
I said, why don't you bring out a men's Wimbledon range? I like tennis. Or the Andrew Howie range.
I was thinking maybe the Lurch range.
Oh, yeah, that could work.
Butler's... Well, she's done well there. She's exposed the jack. Giving Olivia a little look on the forehand to potentially sort of land and split both those bowls.
You just hope for Olivia's sake that, you know, this doesn't deter her mentally from the singles final later. She's going to have to regroup, and there's always another match.
Yeah, I think definitely having the 4 bowls is gonna help, and I mean it is a different green, you know, you'll be going a different direction. it's a new game, and you know they say a week's a long time in footy. Well, 20 minutes is a long time in long bowls.
It's very true.
Between games.
It's very true.
Don't know how many times you've played it. You're playing in a tournament where you're playing 9 or 10 games or something like that, and you, as you said before, that chocolates and boiled lollies happens pretty quickly. She might have obliged here and done exactly as we predicted again.
20 seconds, a long time in bowls.
Yep.
Brilliantly done from Olivia Cartwright.
It's good. It leaves them with only the one blue bowl in the head now. It's important for Beck to at least sort of land on one of those bowls. She should be there. I don't know if she's quite sent it.
So we'll hear from the champions at the end of the match. Presentation will take place after the multi-disability men's singles contest between Damien Delgado and Chris Flavel, which will take place after this.
Olivia coming down on the backhand now. A really good idea to be playing on that side of the rink, even though it might look a little bit hard now to get to the blue bowl. If Lara Butler's bowl, if she manages to move that off the line, give them a really good look. She played it really well. A great effort.
So the front three done their jobs once more. Chloe Stewart has it all to do again. They must win this end. There's no ifs or buts about it. It just has to be a W.
Kelsey will just be looking to land on one of these sort of jack-high bowls or just beyond jack-high bowls. Asking it to run a bit. The weight looks supreme to me. Absolute corker.
Insanely good from Kelsey Cottrell. The weight control, monumental.
Beck Van Asher's bowl right on the line there. Just, it might have looked like well, actually, Chloe's talking about playing some weight, trying to get the underside edge. I think she's on the backhand. Is she playing backhand here? Yep. So the underside edge of Kelsey's bowl is potentially the best result here without the jack. Might get both of those bowls moving. Oh, she's just cornered Beck's bowl in the front there. But it gives her a look now. She can definitely get both of those bowls away, you know, without taking too many of her own bowls out. Blue team already got the tee covered. Kelsey just asking that. I think Beck's going to settle on a blocker here.
I don't mind a good blocker. Kelsey's going to come up and have a look. Of course, these matches are untimed, so take all the time you need to make these decisions. Australian Open title on the line.
Lindsay Clark having a giggle at putting her foot about 6 foot short on the centre line. I think that's probably the right shot here. As I said, there is a perfect result where Chloe can get just a faint edge of Kelsey's bowl and remove both of those blue disc bowls. And unfortunately for Kelsey, the potential of drawing another shot actually might make it a little bit easier for Chloe.
And is it in the way?
It's not a bad effort. I think it's, if anything, might just be a good guide on the forehand now for Chloe. Get a down the line view of that. Yeah, you can definitely still see a good portion of the bowl. She might even just go very quick on the backhand if she prefers her backhand side, but shaping up on the forehand. She's not playing a heap of weight here.
They don't mind it. They're watching intently. Chloe Stewart, what have you delivered?
Needs a little bit of help.
Oh, it's got the rub.
The gap.
And what is the total?
Looks like a 2.
They'll measure. So if it's a 2, it means the margin will be 7 with 2 ends to play. A 2 for the team kitted in blue will be enough to seal the title after 14 ends.
Olivia likes it for 2.
Yeah, Olivia likes it. Well, you liked it as well. From this angle, it looks pretty good for 2. And that's what it is. Chloe Stewart again, providing the goods. 21-14. We hit N14. 7 shots the difference. A 2 here for Team Blue wins it. But a big collect for Team Peach. And who knows?
I mean, I just got to say that Chloe has been colossal in this game. She has absolutely put these girls on her back and got them through to a position where there's still a faint chance.
She's almost been probably the MVP. If you're talking about players of the match, like Kelsey's backhand runners have been very good. Lindsay's leading has been superb. But the way that Chloe has gone to the rescue, I think I would agree with you that she's probably the most telling player out of the 8.
Oh, she certainly had the most impact. I mean, Kelsey's been playing probably the last 4 ends really with the defence mindset, which is the right way to play, obviously, when you're 9 shots in front. So, but Chloe sort of had no other option but to be aggressive and convert and try her best to convert. As we see Linny again just dropping on top of the jack.
And I think what is frustrating if you are the Stewart team is that they've won more ends than they've lost. They've actually headed to the mat winning more, but it's just the numbers that they've been dropping. Beck Lord, good start. Is this the concluding end, or do we have another twist in the tail? It's probably Lindsay's most wayward of the day. Been right on the money.
Here's Lara Butler trying to get down to this Lindsay Clark bowl and just outside it. Super weight. You know, land on that bowl, make a 3, drop him behind the jack. Might just see a few little nerves.
When you know it's so close, it's often so hard to close out.
Oh, bit of an unfortunate result there, getting the back edge. Both of Beck's bowls. Hard thing for Chloe here is, like, even though it looks really inviting to just go and sort of rake up there and land the bowl or get the jack, you still want to keep those good bowls in position and in the count as well, because you know you need the multiple numbers. Another good one around the head there. But conversely, the more and more that starts to build up, the more and more likely it is that blue team are just going to really reduce the target and whack it.
And Johns.
Oh, she's a little back edge of the jack there.
And she's taken shot back. Increasingly difficult now. A 2 will win it here for the Cottrell combination. A 1 keeps it going to the 15th end, but it'll be an 8 pin that they need, which is very, very rare.
Still an opportunity here for Olivia on the backhand to get to that blue bowl, chip it out. She's just underplayed the line, yep. It's the right kind of shape to be looking for. And get that blue bowl away without the jack, easy enough. He's left holding 3. Beck's right in the area again. She's popped that bowl over onto the jack now. So it's tucked in behind. Still looks like it might be 2 seconds. 2 seconds to Chloe's team. And pick the port and land that bowl for 3. Yep. Chloe indicating you get through the gap there with nice metre of weight. Stay there for 3 shots. Starting to get interested in it. I think it needs to turn a little bit. She's promoted her own bowl there, or Beck's bowl.
Still the 1 to Team Blue.
Not sure she's made that much easier for Chloe to get to Lindsay's bowl there. All the strategy coming into it now.
Yep. How can we win it now? How can we stop a multiple coming through?
Yep.
So many different possibilities.
Permutations going through Kelsey's head now. She's the bowl. The jack could get there. The jack could get there. Trying to predict what kind of shot Chloe's going to call or play. She's just thinking about how can I make this as hard as possible. Didn't quite hear the call, but looks like another bowl around in position. Around the back, asking for it to run on a little bit. Applauding that, so it must be in a fairly good spot. Yep.
So will we be going one more end? A 1 here will send it there. Can Chloe Stewart come to the rescue once more?
Again, I think she's been, forced into playing this sort of little rumble shot on the forehand. Sort of stun and run kind of a shot. Looks like she wants it to turn. She's right in the area. Well, Well,
Oh, she made one. Is it?
no, one down,
Yeah.
I think. Still one to the blue. Up and down, Beck says. I mean, realistically, Kelsey's got to be thinking about trying to produce a 3. Get it within 4, and you're in the game if you're trying to get a 4. I think 5 or 6 is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to get and a lot easier to defend. You know, you can just get a bowl or 2 off the rink, and it's game over.
So all the tactics. So Chloe is going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat once more.
I think the only real way of getting a multiple here is going through on the forehand and getting one of Beck's bowls. I think it's the most adjacent to the jack. You see the overview there, yeah. If she can get the one that's not on the centre line, the one that's off the centre line, without getting the jack and through Lindsay Clark's shot bowl there, she can potentially make a 2. If her bowl hangs around, she can make a 3. I don't think there's any other real sort of angle to use if she wanted to play weight through a wing bowl or anything like that. A little bit of a Hail Mary shot, but I think we'll find she'll be playing that 6 to 8 feet on the forehand. No, she's backhand, so I reckon it'll be bigger weight.
Chloe Stewart.
They're all down having a look at it anyway. She's got that bowl. But she's got the jack as well.
Wow. And it's spilled out to one of Anne John's bowls. And Kelsey Cottrell will have an opportunity to draw and take an 11th Australian Open title.
She may not have to. I think they're having a look. Beck's bowl.
Oh, it's very close.
Didn't see the indication from Linny. No. So she's heading back to the Mac.
I think tend to favour the ones that are jack high, even by these angles. Lindsay reckons they still might measure it, but they might not need to. They won it in 2014, the first time the fours was held at the Australian Open. They're on the verge of doing it again. On its way.
Certainly got to get a roll out of Beck's bowl here. That's over. Yep.
And it's an 11th title for Kelsey Cottrell and Lindsay Clark. An 8th for Anne Johns, a 9th for Anne Johns, a 6th for Beck Van Ash, a 37th combined, and a 3rd fours title as a grouping for this awesome foursome of Lindsay Clark, Anne Johns, Rebecca Van Ash. They take the fours title of the 2025 Australian Open. 23 shots to 14 over a gallant Rebecca Lord, Olivia Cartwright, Lara Butler, and Chloe Stewart.
Wow, what a treat. What a treat we've been able to witness here on the Rink 1 at Broadie. An amazing game of just bowl after bowl of shot making, so many shots being played, and as we said, you know, Chloe Stewart can hold her head high, you know, time and time again, got herself out of trouble, and but it's the blue team that salutes, and team of superstars, Linny Clark, Anne Johns, Beck Van Ash, and Kelsey Cottrell, going to take home the gold, and very well deserved. So we've got Val out there just about ready to go and have a chat with the winners, and I think we're going to cross over there now.
No, all of you. All right, we've got the 4 winners: Kelsey Cottrell, Lindsay Clark, my 20, Anne Johns and Rebecca Van Ash now. Well, I've lost my IFB, but it doesn't matter. Kelsey and Linny, 11 for both of you. This is unbelievable. You're the most decorated players in this tournament in terms of titles won. What's going through your minds at the moment? We'll start with you, Kels.
Oh, just obviously very excited. Obviously very happy that these girls gave me an armchair ride. Like, if that was just pure domination. They played so good. There was a few tough moments there where we had to, grit our teeth and really dig deep and push ahead again, and we did. And just, really happy that these girls played so good and made it so bloody easy for me.
And Linny, your leading today was superb. You were on it from the get-go. I'm not just saying that, ladies and gentlemen. It was very good. What was the key for you today? Because the green conditions did change. They were in the shadows, came to the sun. What was the key to just find the line the whole time?
Oh, look, I just love playing with these girls. So we've played in all different positions. I'll skip second. Everyone's had a bit of a go at everything. I just wanted to get them off to a good start, just enjoy the ride. They all play so well, so just trying to set up good heads. And, we were probably a bit stiff a few ends. We couldn't score this way, and we did everything possible to score, but Kelso didn't have last bowl a few times. But just love this team so much. We've got such a rich history, and we might be making a trip to Wimbledon one day.
Who knows? Can I come? Well, hopefully I can. Yeah, hopefully I can. Beck, I know you hate odd numbers. You had 5. You've got 6 now. How much does it mean to you?
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a good stat. Thanks. Look, we're just really excited to get away with today. It's been a great tournament. We were the old girls out there that game as well. So, it was good to sort of wind back the clock. I think it's like 11 years since our first one together. So, it was really special.
Well, you were the inaugural champions in 2014, and now you've got 9 Australian Open titles. You're going to have to get one more to get to double figures, but how much does it mean to you? How much does it mean to you to take home yet another title, and especially 11 years after your first Fords title with these girls?
I'm just really happy because we always got on just so well together, and I just love playing with these girls. And even if we hadn't won today, it's still an awesome little 4. So I'm really happy for all of us.
It is amazing. I felt like part of the team here in this chat. It's fantastic. Congratulations, Lindsay Clark, Kelsey Cottrell, Anne Johns and Rebecca Van Ash, your 4s champions of the women's 4s of the 2025 Australian Open.
Well, there we go. So thanks to Val for having a chat with the champions there. As I said earlier, just a fantastic game of bowls with, some super shot making. And, I think the girls in Peach can hold their head high, fought the game out. And, it was a real sort of difficult patch when, you consider Lindsay Clark, all over the jack and being backed up so well by Anne Johns as well. So fantastic game. And then not far away from our multi-disability 2025 AO singles final. So we've got Chris Flavel and Damien Delgado going to fight it out. So we'll look forward to that one. And that's a wrap from us for the women's 4s final.